Good evening, race fans. Welcome here to Michigan for tonight's round number 3 of the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. My name's Robert Hill Jr. Joining me up in the booth here tonight is William White. William, welcome to the booth here for the ARCA series, my friend. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you, mate?
Doing really good. Excited for another great race here with these ARCA cars. Actually, the Gen 4 car tonight. The first race in that particular car. As you can see on the screen here, 90 laps, no stages, and 3 sets of tires. One thing to point out before we get going here tonight, William, we're going to take a quick look at the points, and we do have a tie at the top. It's Corey Abbott and Jay Connor, our 2 winners this season so far, tied at 41 points, just 2 ahead of Jeff Green, and then just behind him by 1 point is a Leighton Norgard, and 2 back is Justin Wadsworth, so very close up there at the top of the standings, but qualifying has run out here, and it's Chase Cabry, the 2-time NASCAR K&N Series winner, on the pole alongside Corey Abbott in row number 1. Row 2, Justin Wadsworth and Jay Connor. Row 3, Leighton Norgard and Jeff Green, with row 4 being Gavin Higgins and Harrison Talon. And rounding out the top 10 here, William, is Jesse Racimus and Brandon Ultra. Why don't you take us through to position number 20?
Absolutely. In row number 6, leading on the inside line is Tyler Skordensky, and on the outside of him will be Frank Fote in the 41 car. 13th place will be Andrew McCall for Apollo Motorsports in his first start, alongside another rookie, that's Dylan Haver. Michael Harsack being the leading international driver from Canada, he's starting 15th alongside Caleb Bakuma in 16th. Jaden Racimus and Caleb Sheets will make up row 9, and Brandon Key and Seth Eggett from Kicking the Tires will round out the top 20.
Just behind them in row number 11 here tonight, Mitch Avier on the inside with Christopher Paff on his outside. Behind them in row number 12, Carlos Acosta alongside Mark Rabilas. Row 13, Brent D. Jones alongside Kendall Noah Player. And just behind them, Josh Smith alongside Dustin Haynes, with Dustin Dewar and Robert Smith rounding out the top 30. And why don't you take us through the end of the field here, William? 36 cars, with 34 taking the start.
Absolutely. Josh Osborne in the 07 car will start 31st alongside Jess Story in 32nd. Then row 17 will be Rory Collins in the 62 and the 22 of Andrew Hardcastle.
And
John
that
Cutlip and Josh Personette on the back row, although they're race control. So
that is absolutely correct, as the field does come around. Everyone trying to catch the field here. Hardcastle and Osborne gonna have to catch up here. As we get going here, pace car makes the turn to pit road, and we are about to be green here. Chase Cabry on the loud pedal. Corey Abbott up on the high side. He's going to have to try to battle back here and hold off his championship rival, as we have an issue already. As we try to find what happened on the racetrack, I believe it involved Jaden Racimus and Brandon Key. We'll take a look and see what happened to those drivers towards the tail of the field. Watching the 19 of Jaden Racimus on the inside. Yeah, looks like Brandon Key gets into the back of him, but did he have any sort of assistance from behind? Let's take a look.
There was a bit of a stack up maybe in the middle of the pack there. Brandon Key got a little bit too excited there, got in the back of Jaden, then got back in the back of Jaden again. Sends Racimus spinning down to the infield. Brandon Key continues on. Both cars probably not going to have too much damage from that, but
no, both drivers.
Weird incident.
Very weird indeed. Both drivers should be okay, but unfortunate there on lap number 1.
Chase Cable also got a really solid getaway on that green flag. Managed to clear Corey Abbott by about a car length before they reached turn 1. Justin Wadsworth looked like he might have gotten up the inside of Corey if the caution hadn't come out there, but Corey manages to maintain second place. So it looks like we'll be maintaining largely the same starting order when we come back to the green flag for the restart.
Yeah, these drivers trying to sort themselves out here. Unfortunately, an early incident before the start finish line has kind of skewed the running order here, as these drivers being told various things, some being told to go around, others told to stay in line. So we'll see what happens here. We'll step away real quick as we sort this out, and we'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
We are back here in Michigan. A little bit of a scuffle and kerfuffle at the tail of the field. Everyone trying to sort themselves out here. Drivers being told to go into different positions here, William. So a little bit of drama at the back, but now we'll see if we can sort it out and go green from lap number 5. Once again, it's Chase Cabery and Corey Abbott here on the front row as the pace car about to make the turn down to pit road, and we're going to get going, hopefully, for a bit of a green flag run here, Will.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see how the tyre wear actually affects the dynamic of the race on the long run. See if we can get a few laps under our belt here. See maybe someone like a Leighton Norgard who's shown some great long run pace this season, maybe work his way towards the front. But Chase Cabery's going to have control of the restarts. They enter the Geico restart zone.
Green flag is out. There we go.
Got 2 car lengths clear of Corey already. He's going to have to look back towards Justin Wadsworth, see if he can maintain second place. Chase Cabery already 0.6 of a second clear. It's yellow out again.
Caution
before they
again.
Get to turn 3.
Joshua Osborne. Yeah, exactly. Josh Osborne involved in that one. We'll see what happened to him.
3 wide. Andrew Harcast on the bottom.
4 wide.
4 wide temporarily. Oh, Josh just loses it.
Wow.
That's unfortunate. A couple of big impacts to the outside wall there. That 07 is heavily damaged. Unsurprisingly, going to turn down, get the attention of his pit crew, hopefully remaining on the lead lap.
Let's see who we can talk to here, William. Why don't we go ahead and bring up Corey and have a chat with Corey Abbott? Corey Abbott, you got a copy?
I do, sir.
How's the racing going so far down there? You've gotten about 10 feet of it.
Yeah, you said it. We got to keep it clean to have some racing.
Yeah, it's kind of getting crazy to see that these drivers haven't got any real green flag racing in. 2 cautions here in the early going, but what's your outlook on this race if we can get some green flag racing in?
Well, I know Wadsworth and Connor and Leighton are all fast behind me, so I think the plan is just get into a rhythm and just take care of the rears. We'll just go from there.
And of course, you are starting on the outside of row number 1. Had some great speed in practice and qualifying. Do you think you're going to have something for the pole sitter Chase Caber here tonight?
It's gonna come down to that long run. I think we have a long run, and I can get clear of those guys and just take care of my stuff, run my line. I think I have a pretty good chance. Qualifying times were closer than I thought they would be, so I'm feeling pretty optimistic about it.
And William, do you have any questions here for our friend Corey Abbott?
Absolutely. Well, obviously, we haven't even had a full lap of green flag running yet. But obviously, restarts are going to be massively important when you consider, the kind of runs that you can get on the inside line when the leader controls the restart. How important is it to try and maintain that second place as best you can, just to maybe have one less car in front of you when the long runs hopefully do come?
To me here, it's huge. Just because I think we're going to run the middle lane all race. I think that's the dominant lane. Less people you have to fight is going to be huge. So restarts are not my best right now. So we're going to be looking to get better at those as the race goes. And hopefully we'll stick to the pace here and not lose too many spots.
On.
I got to thank the Abbott Motorsports guys. Got to thank Brent Jones for hanging out with us every week. You guys for doing the broadcast in the league race. Got to thank Race Control. They do a great job.
Well, best of luck to you. Looks like we're getting set to go green.
Thanks, guys.
William, that's Corey Abbott, currently running in position number 2 out there on the racetrack. We'll see if he's got anything for our pole sitter, Chase Cabery, if we can get some green flag racing in here.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully we can get more than half a lap in this time. They just about made it to turn 1 first time. They just about made it to turn 3 the second time. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we can get at least 1 full lap in before we have another yellow. We can start getting some actual racing in. So I'm very interested to see if Corey can have something for Chase Cabery. He's obviously come in immediately, put down some flying lap times. That's the wrong way, Jess. It's even spun under yellow.
Jess Story and Kendall Player coming together at the tail of the field. Oh,
that's some internet issues. Wow.
Oh my gosh. All right, we're gonna go green.
Already pulled off. Chase Cabery was on a lightning restart. No one else even went behind him. He got the entire field sleeping. Already almost 4/10 of a second clear of Corey. He's now going to be again fighting Justin Wadsworth on the inside.
Yeah, Corey Abbott here.
In tow.
Corey Abbott on the high side here, Will. These guys doing a nice job battling for position number 2. We'll see if they're able to hold it together and get us a bit of a run in. I see a shuffle of Dustin's towards the rear. Dustin Haynes, Dustin Dewar, as Dewar now falling back, but back up front, it's Abbott on the high side. Wadsworth down low as Abbott nearly gets into that outside wall, trying to make his car a little bit wide as he's going to do a crossover here. Corey Abbott to the bottom. The battle for second continues.
Corey Abbott really drove it in deep there, getting the crossover in the exit of turn 4. So obviously have that huge momentum on the higher side, but Wadsworth's going to hold it. He's going to stay ahead. He's going to have the momentum off the outside lane. Corey's going to have to shuffle in as Jay Kanan now moves to the inside. He's looking for the final podium spot. Corey Abbott not with an optimal restart. Might be looking at dropping down 2 positions before the end of lap 10 as he does. Maybe just biding his time not just a little bit. Didn't put up too much of a fight there. He's got his teammate Leighton Norgard now behind him in 5th place. Gavin Higgins maybe sniffing some blood there, seeing Corey struggle a little bit there.
Taking a look out front, though, it's Chase Cabery. He's been able to pull away already by a second over those drivers behind him. He has a rocket ship this evening, but you know Jay Connor gonna do everything, Jay Connor gonna do everything he possibly can to get up there and make a move on Cabery. Of course, round 1 winner in Jay Connor, now looking to gain his second and gain some points on Corey Abbott. Abbott himself are tied for that points lead, and this is a good round for these drivers to try to separate a little bit and see what they can do. As Osborne announces he's going to exit pit road and work his way back onto the racetrack. But taking a look at some battles on the track, Andrew McCall and Frank Foti duking it out for position number 12. The 2 rookies doing a nice job there. As you mentioned, the Apollo Motorsports driver in Andrew McCall, teammates with the likes of Colin Culpa and others in that Apollo rank. We'll see what he can do here tonight as he now battles with Dylan Havier, another one of our Lake Norman Motorsports rookies, coached by the great Tyler Foti. We'll see what these Havier brothers, or Havier uncle and nephew, can do as the season progresses.
Yeah, there's been a lot of these family dynamics recently coming in. Obviously, you've got Frank Foti related to Tyler Foti. We've got Jaden and Jesse Racimus on the grid. As you see them both on the same bit of tarmac. See, getting a little bit loose there. Is that number 3? Dustin Hangs, I believe that is. Hailing all the way from Canada, just north of where we're racing from today. They've got the little Canadian and American flags hoisted together in conjunction in pit lane. There you go. See, Chase Caber is still clearing off into the sunset. About 1.25 seconds ahead of Jay Connor. But we'll see, maybe in a few laps time, if Jay has something for him, maybe a bit of long run pace in his back pocket, or whether Chase is just going to run away with this.
Yeah, the scary thing is I don't even think Chase Cabery is working at 100% force right now. He's just got that great pace behind the wheel. Of course, like I mentioned, a 2-time NASCAR winner in the K&N series back in the day, finished runner-up in the points, so he's no stranger to success on the racetrack in the real world, and of course, very, very strong here on the iRacing.com service as well. So Chase Cabery definitely going to be one to watch as the season progresses. I know he's going to try to dip into trucks and Grand National as well here in Elite. So you can definitely expect to see a lot more of Chase Cabery in the months to come, as I believe Leighton Norgard just had a little kiss with the outside wall there. You can see him just behind the Cheetos machine of Jesse Racimus. And Jesse's worked his way up into the top 5 here, William. So very strong early run here for Jesse, and right as I say that, he nails the outside wall. Some contact there for Jesse Racimus. That's going to cause a little bit of right side damage, but shouldn't affect him too much, as we do have a battle. Once again, it's Gavin Higgins on the inside of Jesse Racimus, trying to make a move for position number 6.
Yeah, obviously Gavin Higgins had a very solid rookie campaign in last season's Pit Pass Network ARCA Series in 2023B. Seemingly continuing that momentum. He's in 7th place right now. Didn't quite get that one over on Jesse Racimus after he made that little mistake. We'll see if Jesse can get back up past the Leighton Norgard back into the top 5, because he's had a very, very quick early run. See if he can maintain that. But they've all kind of single filed out for now. But Chase Cabery now nearly 2 seconds ahead of Jay Connor. He is flying.
Absolute speed out of that 39 machine of Cabery here tonight. I did just want to give a quick shout out to Seth Rawls, one of our drivers from the Belly Up Sports Cup series. He's watching here tonight. Wanted to shout out, so shout out to you, Seth Rawls, as Josh Osborne gonna get sideways. Looks like he's gonna work his way slowly to pit lane there. We'll see what happened to him. But Osborne involved in his second incident of the night. This one won't bring out a yellow. Much of the same, though. The car just steps out on him. Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a vicious impact. Wow.
I'm kind of mean, so I want to ride on board with that one and see what it felt like from the cockpit of the Joshua Osborne machine. Hold on, folks. We're about to get rocked. He just stayed on that gas pedal, though, William.
That car did not slow down one bit. He kept his foot pinned in it, trying to save it, and it did not work. That car might be junk.
Yeah, pinning it doesn't always work when when you're in an incident, but you know, it's a rookie series development. He'll learn as time goes along. As we watch our second place car, Jay Connor here trying to hold off Justin Wadsworth. Wadsworth in position number 3, trying to hold off Corey Abbott and Leighton Norgard, 2 of the Abbott Motorsports drivers, our teammates. Well, as we're teaming up with those guys over in the Belly Up Sports Cup Series. And I believe you'll see and hear more about that tomorrow on the preseason Thunder Day for the Belly Up Sports Cup Series.
Absolutely, yeah. We're getting ready for the new season at Daytona. We're going to be showing off on your hot odds. Corey Abbott out of nowhere got a monster run off of turn 4. He's already cleared Justin Wadsworth. He's on the inside of Jay Cano. He might get 2 positions in one corner here, and the Leighton Norgard's looking to follow him.
Look at old Corey right there.
He hit the nitrous button coming off of turn 4 there. He's on the inside of Jay Cana.
I can tell that our cup cars aren't going to be too great this season, Will, as apparently we've put all the power underneath this ARCA car of Corey Abbott as he just gained a ton of position on the racetrack as he's on the inside of Jay Connor. Connor gets a little bit slideways up there, gathers it ahead of Wadsworth. They're going to do some bump drafting here. They're practicing for Daytona coming up here very soon, but these noses and tails don't line up too well on these ARCA cars, so got to be careful there. But biggest mover of the race so far, always like to touch on that. That is Andrew Hardcastle. That's another one of our teammates, actually an affiliate on the Cup side, but he is currently running there in position number 22, up 12 spots on the day as he just passed Mark Rubilis as if Rubilis was just having a picnic.
Yeah, number 22 in position, number 22, a very solid day for Andrew Hardcastle. But now the Abbott Motorsports boys have shown that long run speed. Seemingly at the click of a finger, they are now in second and third. It's been kind of their brand to have that long run speed. Obviously, they're 1 and 2 at Legacy Phoenix last week, now 2 and 3 on the racetrack. Maybe seeing if they can just eat into that gap that's now almost 3.5 seconds. But Leighton Norgard's looking to the inside of his boss. Here we go, the 12 car now on the inside. Corey Abbott trying to hold it on the outside. Leighton Norgard obviously so close to victory at Phoenix last week. Beaten only by Corey Abbott. Corey Abbott gets very loose. Leighton Norgard's going to move into second. Jesse Racimez might now be looking for third. Jay Connor in tow.
Yeah, Jesse Racimez
is going to be clearing off.
Jesse Racimez doing a nice job there in position number 4 as we're about to look 3 wide, opt better of it, and I definitely agree with that decision. As like you mentioned, Chase Cabery absolutely pulling away, nearly 4 seconds ahead of these guys. Will, this is the kind of driver that doesn't necessarily need a development series. He's just here to get approval to run the higher levels of the Elite Racing League. I would say chances are it's probably a one and done for Chase Cabery in the series, as he's most likely going to easily slot his way into the Trucks and Grand National Series coming up in just a week's time, actually, next Sunday. Not this coming Sunday, but the following, we're going to kick off the Stay Tuned Sport Truck Series, which will be at Daytona, of course, so that should be a fun one. As we look at a Leighton Norgard, this is a driver that's slated to have a really strong season. I think Leighton's going to be one to watch. People are going to be shocked at his consistency on the racetrack, great at saving tires, great at qualifying. I think Leighton's going to be one of those sleepers in the Cup Series this season.
Yeah, so he's definitely one to watch. Obviously had a brilliant season in ARCA last season, finishing 5th in points, and is a Championship 5 contender in seasons past in the Stay Tuned Sports Truck Series. So in all levels of the league, because he's competing in all 4 Series Cup, Grand National, Trucks, and ARCA, he's going to be one to watch. Do not sleep on him or the rest of the Abbott Motorsports guys. they have got something cooking this season.
Cooking indeed. As we take a look a little bit further back, we talked about drivers that have moved forward. Now one that's moving in the wrong direction. That's Harrison Talon, as he's gonna now lose 8 positions on the racetrack, about to be 9 as Caleb Sheets catching up to him. We'll see if Talon's able to recover and work his way back towards the front. But one thing to touch on here, these drivers mentioned they're going to go about 35 or so laps on fuel. With those 2 cautions we had, though, I think we're going to be pushing more to around lap number 40. As you see a battle of the Calebs here, Pecumer going to come down and chop the nose a little bit of Caleb Sheets there. So the rookie coming into play. But yeah, like him. Oh, Jeff Green off the racetrack. Green misses
Jeff
the
Green
inside wall.
saves it.
Wow.
Can keep it rolling. That's a brilliant save.
Let's take a look at that one on the Robilus Photography Replay Machine. RobilusPhoto.com for all your photography needs. On the inside of the Gavin Higgins machine, Higgins gets a little bit sideways. Jeff Green and Higgins come together. That's going to send Jeff through the ground. Wow.
Wow.
Oh.
That was extremely well held.
There's a reason that gentleman right there is a NASCAR champion. He knows how to handle race cars. And handle he did.
Absolutely. It's Corey Abbott's now looking to try and defend from Jesse Racine. Jesse on the high side with a lot more grip, it seems. Maybe that higher groove is now coming into place. He's going to clear Corey Abbott and get into the outside wall for good measure. But Corey can't quite capitalize. He's down to 5th from 2nd on the grid. It's not ideal for Corey, but he's still ahead of his championship rival Jay Connor, who he is tied with. So, from a points perspective, not terrible, although someone like a Leighton Norgard, who finds himself as 2nd, might jump the pair of them. Jay in the outside wall.
Jay definitely just got the outside wall right there. We'll see if he's able to gather it back up. But as these guys have settled into a bit of a rhythm, probably about 10 laps away from pit stops, I do want to touch on a driver that's impressed me through the opening 3 rounds of the series with the improvements he's made from last year. It's Tyler Skordensky, currently scored in position number 8. This driver, he wasn't overly solid last year when he came into the series. Definitely showed a lot of room for improvement, and he's improved. He's been running in the top 5, top 10 through the first 3 races of this series thus far, and I think Skordensky is going to be one of those drivers to just continue developing his caution out on the track. It looks like Dustin Dewar going to get a bit of that inside grass. I wonder if he actually hit anything there.
Doesn't look like too much damage on his car. Unfortunately, didn't quite get the save that his do-good teammate Jeff Green did as he got on that super slick bottom lane. Just stepped out on him with some help from the 26, who didn't have much time to react. And 32 goes with some spinneroonies.
Just taking a look at that one. Unfortunate for the 26 of Sheets as well as the 32 of Dewar. Dewar was gathering it back up, but Sheets nowhere to go. Unfortunately runs into the back of Dustin Dewar, sends him around. That's a racing incident here in the ARCA series. These drivers still trying to figure everything out. So that will be a racing deal for caution number 3, as I'd expect the field to come down pit road this time, Will.
Absolutely. I think we've hit that exact mark of a third of the way through the race. We haven't quite had enough caution laps where they could save 10 laps worth of fuel, where they could split it halfway. So now that we're at that perfect mark, I would say everyone's going to come in 4 tyres, full tank of fuel, and apart from any missing the box mishaps, I would say we will retain largely the same on-track order. Although it's quite unfortunate for Chase Cabry, because obviously he had that near 5-second lead on Leighton Norgard. That's been torn away kind of at the snap of a finger. But if he can be just as fast as he was in that first run for the rest of the race, he should have no problem holding off the rest of the field.
That's exactly it here, Will. If we can get Chase to come down pit road and hit his marks, not overslide the box at all, and be able to get off of pit road as promptly as he's raced here so far, he should be just fine. As Caleb Pecumer has an incident there entering pit road. Looks like the rookie still learning how to come down pit road here. We'll take a look, see what happened to him. Oh,
Another one of those checkups. Again, rear end contact from the 26. It's a little accordion effect. Couldn't quite react in time. You saw the 49er Brent Jones almost get into the back of him. Had to take evasive action. Very strange incidents. Lots of strange incidents tonight.
and we are going to take a quick step away here as Chase Cabry wins the race off pit road. We'll be right back. It's Pit Pass Network ARCA series on the Elite Racing Network. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at Michigan. It's the Pit Pass Network ARCA series. PitPassNetwork.com is your home for all things motorsports, from news to reviews and interviews. Check out PitPassNetwork.com today. It's Chase Cabry restarting on the pole position here with Wadsworth on his outside. Green flag is displayed, and Cabry gets a nice jump on this restart as these drivers all going to duke it out for position behind him, as once again Cabry going like a rocket out here at Michigan, Will.
Absolutely, and Jesse Racimos looks to be clearing Justin Wadsworth for second place. On these restarts, the inside line is just so strong. It's basically like a plate track, like a Daytona or a Talladega, where you're just going full tilt, giving absolutely everything, and there's not much momentum for the outside line to really work with. I see Gavin Higgins now on the inside of Justin Wadsworth. Justin could lose 2 places by the end of this first lap of this restart. See Gavin Higgins looking for that final podium spot. Justin Wadsworth still going to hang on the outside of the 20 cars. They're side by side over the line. Justin Wadsworth just eking ahead, but we'll see if Higgins has the grip on the bottom to get the pass completed out of turn 2.
Yeah, Gavin Higgins down on the inside. That's Justin Wadsworth up top. Like you mentioned, Higgins getting a little bit loose down there on the inside lane. Jake Connor just behind them in position number 5, as Brandon Ultra now going to battle with Corey Abbott for that 6th spot. Abbott falling a little bit towards the rear here as Ultra charging his way forward, up 4 spots on the day. By the way, our current biggest mover is Andrew Hardcastle. Once again, he's up 18 spots now, currently scored in position number 16, with the second biggest mover being Robert Smith, up 10 positions here today, as Chase Cabry continues to run away with it as we watch the battle here. Oh, Tyler Skordensky getting a little bit sideways, battling
Big
with
save.
Harrison Talon. Like you mentioned, great save right there, but not giving much room to Talon as they head for turn number 3, Will.
Absolutely. It looks like a bit of a crossover there from Harrison Talon's going to get to the inside of the 07 car. And was that Jake Connor in the wall there? I saw a bit of dust get kicked up from the safer barrier there. See Gavin Higgins again on the outside of Dustin Wadsworth. Those two are duking it out for third and fourth. Marco Bilas coming down pit lane. Might need some emergency repairs of some kind on that 99 car. Yeah, very unfortunate.
Mark Robilas, yeah, serving a black flag there, Will. Unfortunate for him, but he has called it a day here as we have a battle a little bit further back. It looks to be Andrew McCall just getting by Dylan Havier, now chasing down Tyler Skordensky as these guys continue to duke it out here on the racetrack. About 7 laps away from halfway, and it's Chase Cabery out front continuing to dominate here today.
Yeah, it's very much been the Chase Cabery show so far tonight. He's again already almost 2 seconds clear. What I am interested in is how he's running. You'll see he's very tight to that first groove, but as he's coming off the corner, his line is very shallow. That is kind of how you want to drive these ARCA cars and these Gen 4 cars. The way you drive it off the right rear is that you minimize the amount that you use the right front. So he's right down to the yellow line. That's not something that anyone else has done all night. And it puts so much more stress on the right rear because it gets the car sideways. And what that does is that balances the wear between those 2 right side tyres, and it just maintains that grip for so much longer, and he's just able to take off over a long run.
That's a great observation there, Will, and you're spot on with how you want to wear those tires out. Want to put more force on the right rear than the right front, but I do want to bring in Jess Story here. Jess was unfortunately victim of an equipment issue here tonight, but Jess Story, welcome to the booth, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
Unfortunate for you getting involved in an issue under caution due to a technical issue. What's your outlook for the rest of this race, unfortunately being out of it at this point?
Yeah, well, first off, I want to apologize to Kendall for that because he just had nowhere to go whenever my equipment stopped working. But I mean, obviously it's a very disappointing ending to it. Definitely not very thrilled about it, but honestly, I was not feeling very confident with these cars as it looks like we just have a yellow coming out.
Well, yeah, 63's around.
That is Seth Eggert. Unfortunate, and my apologies to him. I messed up his number when he was coming in here. He was supposed to be the 57. I'm assuming he'd have Kicking the Tires on board that one, so check out Kicking the Tires as well. Let them know that ERN sent you. As Jeff Green sent him.
Wow.
That was unfortunately a bit of a racing deal. It looks like Seth cleared himself up ahead of Jeff Green. Jeff wasn't really expecting that, and that did send the 63 of Eggert around. That's just due to those noses not lining up, like I mentioned. So no real harm for these drivers. They're going to be able to continue on, but caution number 4 out on the racetrack, guys.
Yeah, it's not going to be much damage for Seth. That car looks mainly unscathed. It was just the way it kind of got hooked around on Jeff's nose. With the high rear bumpers, it just sent him around like a little spinning top. But yeah, very unfortunate for Seth because he was running quite well, obviously, there with Jeff Green. But yeah, his race has taken a slight detour, I think.
Yeah, like you said, it's definitely a lot easier with these cars to get hooked around when these bumpers make contact, and that's just the name of the deal. He just kind of cleared himself up, and definitely a racing incident right there.
So one thing I do want to ask you guys, Will, we didn't do this before the start of the race. I'm gonna take Chase Cabry off the board just because he's been so dominant here in the race so far, as we have another incident. No, we don't. It looks like we're okay. It showed me that Tyler Skordensky had a crash, but he didn't. So good job, Tyler. But anyways, taking Chase Cabry off the board here due to his dominance, who do you guys think will be the top finisher of today's race, aside from Chase Cabry?
Do you want to go first, Jess?
Yeah, I'll definitely. Yeah, sure. Why not? I've been watching that 20 car for that last of Gavin Higgins for the last run there, right there. Despite hitting the wall there, getting into the wall there a little bit off of one of those laps, he's been able to still pass Justin Wadsworth for third place, and he was hounding Racimus for second spot. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on that 20 car.
And Will, who do you got here, my friend?
I think I'm going to narrow it down to the boys in second, third, and fourth. Obviously, Racimus and Higgins, they've come from a little bit further back in the field, around the top 10, top 15 sort of area, but they've been wicked quick to get up to where they are now. But also, Justin Wadsworth, he started, I believe, in third place, if my memory serves me right, and he stayed there in that third, fourth region the entire race. So he's also got that consistency about him. But I think if I had to pick one, based on what I've seen so far today, I would say Jesse Racimus just about takes it for me.
Jesse Racimus, another solid pick. I'm going to go a little bit left field with one of the rookies here tonight, somebody that doesn't have a ton of Elite Racing League experience, and someone that's really shown their pace and racecraft here tonight. I'm going to go with that 07 of Tyler Skordensky. It shows 06 here on the charts, but he's actually the 07 of Tyler Skordensky, so that is my pick to be the top finisher here tonight, not named Chase Cabry.
Solid pick. He's been pretty quick this season. Definitely tonight.
Yeah, I can definitely
Absolutely.
agree with that pick. That was a pretty solid pick. He's definitely been a very competitive driver to race against this year.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, he's been one of those guys that's shown a lot of improvement from last season. He only had a couple of races last year with us, but has really shown that improvement from 2023 to 2024. Maybe it was all the turkey he ate around Christmas, or the Christmas puddings and whatnot, but we'll see anyways what happens here as we are approaching halfway. We'll be about a half lap short of halfway when we do go green. It's Chase Cabry on the inside. Jesse Racimus to the high side of him. Gavin Higgins, row number 2, with Justin Wadsworth to his outside. Then behind them is where we find Jay Connor and Brandon Ultra, with row number 4 being Tyler Skordensky and Corey Abbott up on the high side, with Andrew McCall and Dylan Havier rounding out the top 10. That's another driver that's really impressed me here tonight as we're getting set to go green. Cabry going to be the control car once again as they're going to pass the start-finish line. Barney the flagman does have that green flag in hand. We'll see how this one goes, boys.
Another solid restart for Chase Cabry, and I think Racimus and Higgins are going to be side by side into turn 1. Racimus not with a bad restart at all, though. He's about half a car length clear still. We'll see what Higgins can do. He gets the nose in there, but I think Racimus is going to have that grip on the high side of the track. He's going to maintain second place. Higgins going to slot into third. A very clean restart, not a lot of beating and banging, not a lot of, not really a big shuffle in the field either. Everyone largely retained their positions there.
That's
like
exactly it. Go ahead, Jess.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. Brandon Ultra.
Yeah, he was able to get around Tyler Skordensky around the outside for that position, so that was a good little pass by him.
They're still fighting for second there. Higgins again on the inside of Racimus, not giving it up. See a very cool stack shot of everyone going by. There goes Chase Cabry. Higgins temporarily up into second. We'll see if he can hold it. Racimus is going to have the run off the outside of the corner. As he goes, just taking him off of the charts there. And Higgins again slotting in behind the 70 car there. So 1, 2, and 3 stays the same from the restart.
Yeah, Cabry able to pull away once again. Now 1 second is that gap between first and second. Once again, Jesse Racimus there in second. He's Cheeto powered this evening. Had himself a handful of those things that leave your hands looking like you just turned into a pumpkin. So orange. So orange, those Cheetos. As Jesse Racimus outruns Gavin Higgins in position number 2. Justin Wadsworth in 4th with Jake Connor rounding out the top 5 as they run. Brandon Key has worked his way into that top 10. Got by Mitch Havier. Now looks to the inside of Andrew McCall. Brandon Key charging forward up 10 spots on the day. We'll see what he's able to do now with just under half of the distance to go, as we're going to go 3 wide. Why not?
3 wide.
That was McCall to win out. Here comes Harry.
Talon might make it 3 wide.
Oh, things got Harry right there, boys.
Ooh.
Of course, Key with some damage on the nose from that lap number 1 incident.
There goes Talon with the crossover. Key gets a little bit wiggly.
Yeah, Talon's going to clear that pass for going in free. He's going for it.
Whoa, that was not a lot of space, boys. That was not a lot of space for Harry to clear.
Everything on the outskirts of the top 10 here, but Harrison Talon's going to clear Brandon Key. A lot of aggression there around 10th, 11th, 12th place.
Absolutely. Those guys not wanting to give up a spot whatsoever. And this does continue to be the closest battle as Brandon Key dives to the inside. He's going to look to fill the hole left by Harrison Talon as Talon runs up on the high side. Like you mentioned, Jess, right there, side by side through turns 1 and 2, Key and Talon.
Oh, he got loose a little bit.
Side by side. Talon's going to try and take the side draft off of Brandon Key. He's going to be just about a car length clear, but Key's going to send it in there. Keep it side by side. Talon's going to have the higher minimum speed on the higher side of the track. Brandon Key with that rear stepping out just a little bit. Harrison Talon's going to clear again, see if he can break the slipstream. I think that fight will be over, at least for now.
Does look like they do come apart finally here. But now battles on for second. It's Jesse Racimus on the outside with Gavin Higgins battling back there on the inside. They're going to get separated once again. So that battle going to take a brief pause, but Higgins about to be under pressure from Justin Wadsworth. Wadsworth going to try to stuff himself down to the inside, but never mind. Here comes Jake Connor. Ooh, that got a little close there, boys, between Wadsworth and Connor for position number 4.
Yeah, I thought they were about to run into each other there, but they kept it clean.
Definitely keeping it clean.
Hang on to the right rear of Gavin Higgins there. I don't think he can quite get to the outside, although he does have the momentum.
He's still there. He's going to have the momentum.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay Connor.
Oh, big lose from Jay Connor. He saves it. He's going to have Tyler Skłodnicki on his outside, though. That's the fight for 5th.
Another battle a little bit further back here, guys. Frank Foti going to clear the Brandon Key machine. Moves up to position number 12. Of course, this is the guy that taught Tyler Foti absolutely everything to be known behind the wheel. And that led to Tyler becoming a Cup Series champion last season. Somebody just mentioned a right front tire going down. We'll have to keep an eye on that, and I'm not sure who just mentioned that. Sounded like Jeff Green to me, but looks like he's A-okay.
That's very interesting.
We'll keep an eye on that. He last pit on lap 31, so not well, just over 20 laps into this run, and Brandon Key reporting issues with his right side tire. So we'll see if anything comes of that. But this battle for position number 4 is back on. It's Higgins on the high side and Connor down on the inside. Jay Connor, of course, trying to work his way ahead of Gavin Higgins. Put another spot between himself and Corey Abbott, who runs in position number 6 now, as Higgins nearly got sideways into the side of Jay Connor right there.
Yeah, Gavin Higgins was giving absolutely everything trying to get past Jesse Racimus in that 70 car, and I think he burned off his right side tyres just a little bit in doing so. He's falling now down to 5th behind the tyre points leader, Jay Connor, though he's going to go for the crossover. He might be ahead by the time they get to turn 1, but we'll see how much grip Higgins has. His lead might clear.
That's going to be a tough pass, maybe.
Jay Connor probably going to hold it on the outside as Corey Abbott's looking. That's your other side of the points lead. He has not had an ideal race so far, but he's not giving up. He's looking to get back some of those positions that he lost earlier.
Yeah, Higgins had a bit of a bobble up there off of 2, and it's going to allow Connor to stay side by side with them as they enter 3.
Now, I do
Take
just
on the right
quickly
track.
want to touch on this here, guys. Will, you can start on this, but we are coming up on that final pit stop window for these guys. Last pit on lap number 31. We've basically gone green since, with the exception of one yellow. When would you expect these guys to come down pit road? Do you think they're going to stretch it as far as they possibly can to have the least amount of tires, or least amount of laps on the tires at the end? Or are they going to try to go for an undercut, see if they can gain some ground here on Chase Cabry?
I would say it's definitely a viable strategy. If I'm someone like Chase Cabry, you're kind of hanging in limbo, because if you pit lap 61, obviously that's the earliest you really can pit. Obviously you'll get that undercut. You might gain a few tenths on someone like Jesse Racines or Justin Wadsworth, but you're pitting that early. Obviously you're relinquishing the lead. You're putting yourself at risk of being trapped a lap down by an unfortunately timed yellow flag. If you stretch it, you might lose a bit of that advantage, but Chase Cabry being nearly 3 seconds clear, I think if I'm Chase Cabry, I'm stretching this out as much as I can, just because I've got so much of an advantage that, you know, I'll lose maybe half a second, a second. I'll still be far enough clear to still be able to save some tyre for the final run. But some of these guys further back might try something different. They might pit as soon as they can, see if they can get some positions and maybe look to capitalise on a yellow flag that might be done well for them.
Yeah, me personally, if I'm in Jesse's position, I would want to try to pit as soon as that window opens. A, to possibly get a undercut under Chase Cabry, but also to get an advantage on everybody else behind me and get some separation. So,
yeah.
That got a little close right there, guys. Nearly a caution around the Dust Endure machine, but everyone able to gather it up and continue on without too much issue. But things got a little bit sketchy there, as now we have a 3-car battle for position number 5. It's Abbott, Skordensky, and Higgins, as Higgins is now fallen back into this fight. Skordensky.
Oh, we're getting dicey.
That was very close.
That could have easily ended in tears, but Corey Abbott's going to clear the pair of them. He's back up into 5th place. He might be looking, maybe not quite at Chase Cabry, but maybe it's someone like Jesse Racines to get back into those podium places that he once had at the start of the race.
It's going to be interesting to see what happens as this race develops. You're seeing a lot of guys moving around on the racetrack as we have a very tight battle here for position number 10. That's Brandon Ultra on the high side. Harrison Talon down on the inside lane, driving through that Geico restart zone, seeing if he can get a bit of an advantage, but not quite able to do it that time. He's going to continue to fight for that spot, but another battle developing on the track as well. That's Brent D. Jones on the high side of Caleb Pecumer. Pecumer just behind him, and then just up ahead is where you find Jeff Green, Caleb Sheets, and Jaden Racines, as Racines trying to work his way forward. I think we're about to go 3 wide.
Jeff Green pulls the slide job on the 26, and Jaden Racines gets incredibly loose there. He's going to clear both of them.
Wow.
Caleb Sheets is going to have a little bit of a run.
yeah, that was quite a move by Jeff Green right there.
Absolutely. Just pulled to the inside, cleared both of them before they even got to the middle of the corner. It's Michael Hossack's now on the inside of Frank Fote. Won't be quite pulling a slide job like Jeff Green just did, but they might be going 3 wide on the exit turn 2. You see Brandon Key right up on the outside wall. Not quite 3 wide, unfortunately.
Another battle up here.
Whoa! Higgins came right up on the nose of Skordensky. He did not want to relinquish that outside line.
Look who's joined this top 5 battle, though.
All there in the 87.
That's exactly it. Andrew McCall in the 87 and Dylan Havier in the 57. This is actually a battle for position number 6 as these guys try to catch that Gavin Higgins machine. Very impressive by these rookies right here. McCall, Skordensky, Havier. These drivers don't have a ton of experience. Havier, I think, maybe has 3 races of experience in general on these ovals. So very impressive run here so far tonight by these guys, as we have hit 30 laps to go. It's Chase Cabry out front. Jesse Racines in 2nd place ahead of Justin Wadsworth. That's your podium as they run. Jake Connor in 4th. Corey Abbott rounding out the top 5. with Gavin Higgins, Andrew McCall, Tyler Skordensky, Dylan Havier, and Brandon Ultra rounding out the top 10. So these guys putting on a bit of a show as we have another battle back here. This is actually what I would call a gaggle, as we have Jaden Mercedes, Caleb Pecumer, and a very loose Dustin Dewar. There's Brandon Key.
On the bottom.
He's fallen back on the inside. You got to remember, he did complain about a potential tire issue not too long ago. So maybe that issue coming into play here for Brandon Key. We'll see if he takes a pit side, and it looks like he will.
Yep.
So Brandon Key heading pit side, not a flat tire on that machine. And actually, Dustin Dewar going to head pit side as well.
Yeah, that pit window's open.
That's exactly it. As we have another side-by-side here, Caleb Sheets going to clear Frank Fody, work his way into position number 12 as the battle for second heating back up. That's Justin Wadsworth down on the inside of Jesse Racimus. Racimus up top, Wadsworth down low, and there he is, Jake Connor now into that picture as well. So this could get interesting, the battle for position number 2, as Cabry just continues to pull away.
Yeah, Cabry's now got a gap of nearly 4.5 seconds over these front two. Obviously, the more they battle, the more they're going to wear each other's tyres out. I wonder if Wadsworth manages to get past Racimus, whether Racimus will just pull into the pits and relinquish that fight for the time being, as Wadsworth does clear into second place. Obviously, that pit window has been open for about 4 laps now, as we're coming to lap 65 of 90 here at Michigan. See Jay Connor running a little bit lower, doesn't pull in. No one's pulling in just yet in the top 10, I believe.
A little battle brewing here. Hossack and Fody going to be side by side. Just behind them, Jeff Green and Brent D. Jones side by side as well. This is a battle for that 13th spot, as Michael Hossack going to get the advantage and win out on that one. Here you see Dylan Havier getting a little bit sideways. That could have turned into a bit of a mess on the back straightaway as he dives down to the inside. I believe Dylan Havier going to take a pit side this time in that 57 car.
I believe so. It's right on the bottom, very slow.
Oh yeah, we got a few drivers coming into pit.
Yeah, we've just hit 25 to go. I think that's the magic sweet spot for some of these guys.
Dylan Havier and Caleb Sheets going to come down pit road this time. Mitch Havier on pit road as well. So we're going to have a family reunion of Haviers down here as they get some tires on their machines. Let's give a little bit more love here to Chase Cabry, currently leading this one by 4.5 seconds with just 25 laps to go. He's been phenomenal here so far, and I believe he's coming pit side. Here it is, the final scheduled stop of the day.
That could set up a big chain reaction. They'll see that Chase Cabry's coming in, and they're all going to think that that's the winning strategy. That they're all probably going to come down in the next lap or two, so as to not let Cabry get too much of an advantage from that undercut.
Yeah,
so
we
this
got a
is
few
going
more.
to set up a big strategic kind of domino, as it were.
Ultra,
definitely.
Skordensky, Fody, and Pecumer guys also down pit road.
Absolutely.
Now, Jess, from your point of view, would you be coming down pit road right now, considering Chase just came down pit road, or are you still going to give it a couple more laps, hoping to see a yellow?
I mean, honestly, I would probably go ahead and come down now. I do also like the idea of staying out too, depending on what position you're in. But for me personally, I would want to come down now.
Oh!
Sorry, Jess. Sorry, yeah, Jesse Racimus just got insanely sideways.
But yeah, I'm definitely with you. I would want to come in now.
And this might make you feel a little bit better here, Jess. New race leader, Kendall Noah player, in that 94 car.
Yeah, that definitely makes me feel a lot better. Definitely a lot better.
So your top 5 as they run, and these guys would love it if the race ended right now. Kendall Noah player, your leader. Seth Eggert in second, battling with Carlos Acosta. Rory Collins in 4th, and Robert Smith in position number 5. Of course, 6th is Chase Cabry, who has a lead of a lot over Jesse Racimus.
I think that's about 8 seconds now. That undercut was massively beneficial for Chase Cabry. We'll see exactly what the gap is when they all get up to speed and once these top 5 all pit.
Yeah, now
Kendall,
the
no
only-
player, has now led a lap, so that's a good bonus point for him.
Yeah, the only thing that could mess up this strategy for Chase and those that pitted is if a caution comes out pretty much right now.
That's exactly it. And just so you know, the gap between first and second, once it cycles through, is 9 seconds between Chase Cabry and Jesse Racines, who has a couple tenths of a second over Jay Connor. And Corey Abbott has worked his way back up to what will be 4th on the racetrack. So nice strategy there for Abbott, but we'll see when the likes of Kendall Noah Player, Seth Eggert, Carlos Acosta, Rory Collins, and Robert Smith do come down pit road. Just to note, these drivers came down pit road 10 laps later than the rest of these guys on that previous stop. So most of the field came down on 31. These guys came down on lap number 42. So potentially, maybe they can make it. I don't think so. I think that's way too much. But you never know. These guys could try to push it to the end, knowing that's really their only hope. As you see Andrew Hardcastle go on by. And just another quick note here. Leighton Norgard has been setting the quickest times of the race here over the last couple of laps, but he has currently scored 1 lap down in position number 26 as Rory Collins comes down to pit road. Only 4 cars left here on that original strategy.
Yeah, and Chase has moved himself up to
Oh,
to 4th place.
McCall!
What's his save? Oh my goodness.
Wow.
He's going to hang on to it. Oh my goodness, what a save.
I
was
thought
prime
Kendall
Colin
Noah
McRae
Player
right
was
there.
I thought Kendall Noah Player was about to get really lucky out there. As we watch Andrew McCall just ahead of Caleb Sheets. Caleb Sheets has just been an innocent bystander here tonight. Just unfortunate for him as McCall able to save it there and continue on.
Yeah, forget Colin Colker. I think Colin McRae's been teaching Andrew McCall a couple of things. Flying through the deck. I think he kept his foot pinned in it, as he should. What
Absolutely.
A save from 87 car.
Really impressive there by McCall. Just a quick update on your top 10. It's Kendall Noah Player out front, followed by Seth Eggert, Carlos Acosta, Robert Smith, and Chase Cabry, the top 5. Jay Connor, Jesse Racines, Corey Abbott, Justin Wadsworth, and Gavin Higgins, the top 10. As we did just have a change for what will be second. Jay Connor able to get by Jesse Racines there as we are 18 laps remaining here at Michigan. Seth Eggert able to clear Carlos Acosta as well as Chase Cabry already closing that gap on these guys. He's about 6 seconds back from Carlos Acosta, but we'll see if a caution comes out here in the next handful of laps. This could get interesting. This could work out in the favor of guys like Kendall Noah Player, Seth Eggert, and Carlos Acosta, as well as Robert Smith, but they're going to have so much work to do coming from the tail of the field on fresh tires compared to these guys that are going to be on the older tires ahead of them here, because nobody should have a set remaining except for those 4 guys that have yet to pit.
Yeah, Chase Cabry is now starting to cut into that top 5 that haven't quite pitted yet. He's up into 4th now, chasing down Seth Eggert. So those top, well, first through 3rd and then 5th place, sorry, are going to have a bit of work to do once they come down pit road. But if we have a yellow flag, they could really be a sort of wild card. They'll have much fresher tyres, and it will really throw a spanner in the works with the dynamic of the race. But I think as things stand right now, Chase Cabry has got a pretty clear road ahead of him.
Yeah, it looks like Carlos.
Go ahead, Justin.
It looks like Carlos Acosta got by Seth Eggert for what looks to be second spot right now, but Eggert is still hanging on his back bumper right there, trying to see if he can get that spot back.
And for those of you that don't know, a spanner is a wrench. As William bringing his fancy talk here today, all the way from the other side of the ocean.
Yeah, we're on the cool side over here.
Dustin Dewar in the grass. He's mowing all the lawns here today. He's going to open a landscape business when he's done with this one. Dustin Dewar, I believe that's his third trip through the grass this evening. As you see a battle here, Caleb Sheets, Jesse Racimus. Racimus has not fared well on these fresh tires whatsoever, as he's lost positions. But speaking of losing positions, Chase Cabry, he's gotten by Seth Eggert. Now, well, he's gotten by Carlos Acosta. Move Chase Cabry to second with 14 laps to go, and he's 6.5 seconds back of Kendall Noah Player.
Looks like Carlos Acosta's coming in this time by.
I'd expect Eggert and Smith likely to follow suit as well. Kendall Noah Player may opt to come down. I do believe Kendall Noah Player is going pit side in the 94. That's going to be the end of that strategy. But if we get a prompt caution here, these guys do have much fresher tires. So this could pay off for them by gaining positions, not necessarily getting the lead, but gaining positions on the racetrack that they wouldn't have necessarily had before. As like I mentioned, all 4 of those drivers that stayed out have taken it pit side.
And Chase Cabry has cycled back to the lead, now over 10 seconds over Jake Hayner.
That's wild.
Yeah, this is one of the most dominant things I've ever seen. 11 seconds clear of the rest of the field. He has just been on a new plane of existence compared to the rest of these guys.
So I want to go ahead, Jess.
You know, I had a feeling that something like this was going to happen. I saw Chase on the entry list for tonight's race, and I'm like, yeah, it's going to be a long night for us.
I want to give it to Tate Lytle. He mentioned that Chase Cabry would likely win this by 10 seconds or more. Well, Tate, he's up by over 11 currently with 12 laps to go. What a strong race here by Chase Cabry this evening. He's well on his way to collecting a victory. Unless a caution comes out, that could come into play still at this point.
Yeah.
Dustin Wadsworth now on the inside of Corey Abbott there for, I believe, that's 4th position. Gavin Higgins just in front, so that's the fight for the final podium spot. Corey Abbott trying to... I think his main objective is to finish out of Jay Connor, obviously, considering the point scenario. He moves to the inside of Gavin Higgins. Higgins covering the inside. Now, Abbott moves to the inside. We've got a little
crossover
going on between the 21 and the 20. But Corey's to the inside. We'll see if he has the purchase to keep to the inside of Gavin Higgins. He does. Higgins doesn't quite have the run off of turn 2. Corey's going to be just side by side with him into turn 3. Gavin Higgins sends it deep, but Corey Abbott covering the shorter distance around the racetrack. They're still going to be neck and neck coming out of turn 4. This is a brilliant fight for the final podium spot.
Yeah, great battle between Higgins and Abbott there as we've just come around to take 10 laps to go. It's Chase Cabry out front of Jay Connor. Connor has Abbott and Higgins battling behind him for position 3 and 4, and just behind them waiting for something to happen is Justin Wadsworth, currently running in position number 5. And at this point, let's talk about the guys that have moved a lot of positions here tonight. Andrew Hardcastle started dead last. He's now up to 17th, so he's up 17 spots on the day. Make that 18 as he's going to get by Caleb Pecumer. Actually, no, that is Mitch Havier, so he doesn't gain another spot. Sorry, Andrew. Brent Jones up 11 spots on the day. He's currently running in 14th. And Caleb Sheets, he's been involved in 3 or 4 incidents tonight, running in position number 8 here with just 9 laps to go. Nice recovery by Caleb Sheets here this afternoon.
Yeah, a lot of these guys with not an exceptional amount of elite experience have done very well. The likes of Sheets, as you mentioned, Andrew McCall and Javier there in the top 10 as well, have all done incredibly well. I think it's a debut race for McCall, or maybe...
That's correct, yeah, debut.
Yeah, debut race. He has made a statement for sure in that Apollo car. Colin Culp obviously finished 7th in points last season. Has definitely taught him well. As you see, that is the fight for the points lead. It might not be the race lead, but it certainly might prove a pivotal point in the season come the final race. You see 2nd and 3rd, Jay Connor and Corey Abbott. Corey Abbott is very much closed to the back of that 9 car very, very quickly. over the course of the last handful of laps once he cleared Gavin Higgins. So we'll see if Corey can take second place, whether he can take back the points lead from Jay.
Tyler Skordensky has taken it pit side in that 07 machine. A bit of a surprising stop for him. But what's not surprising is Chase Cabry leading the way here by 10.7 seconds. He's given up about a half second to Jay Connor and Corey Abbott, but they're not going to be able to gain that much here in the closing 6 laps. So Cabry on the inside gets a little bit loose as Seth Eggert goes by. Jay Connor and Corey Abbott continuing to duke it out for position 2 and 3. A little bit further back as well, Andrew Hardcastle, Brandon Key battling for 16th, but we'll stay up here on this battle for second. 6 laps remaining, guys. Next time, we'll get a full hand of fingers with 5 laps to go.
Corey Abbott now looking to the outside of Jay Kano. Might get a little crossover here. He might get a better run off the corner, less than a tenth of a second between them. Corey Abbott to the inside of Jay Kano. This might be the change in the hand of the points lead. Definitely a change in hand of second place. Jay Kano doesn't put up much of a fight initially. Right to the yellow line, trying to get underneath the 21. He's going to get there. But Corey's going to have a run. Will he clear? Off the corner,
he's clear.
I believe. So yeah, 10th and a half away. You won't have anything for Chase Cabry barring a yellow flag. Obviously 10.5 seconds between them. But Corey Abbott started second, fell back to about 8th at one point, but now he's back up to second.
Meanwhile, Wadsworth is looking underneath Higgins for 4th place right there. This could get interesting.
Absolutely.
These
Justin
drivers
Wadsworth had a solid season in trucks last season, but hasn't had a bunch of experience in the ARCA series. Gavin Higgins obviously has, having a solid 23B campaign. But they've been fighting all race, Higgins and Wadsworth, for their kind of outskirts of the podium places, the top 5. But they seem to have single filed out for the time being.
Every driver battling for position here as we come to 4 to go. Every single point does matter here, guys, as Abbott, like you mentioned, cleared Jay Connor. He's going to try to put some space between them as Higgins now catching Connor a little bit. And what Corey Abbott would like to see in his mirror is Gavin Higgins getting by Jay Connor, but now Wadsworth gonna dive to the insides. We're gonna come around and face 3 laps to go this time for Chase Cabry. A dominating debut so far.
Yeah, Chase Cabry has just been on a new level all night long. We knew it from the drop of the green flag. He had a good start, got clear, and it was pretty much all said and done by the exit of turn 2 on the first lap, because he has been pulling away. He's been as fast as a Ferrari this race. Also over 10 seconds clear of the rest of the pack, which is not something I have seen, I don't think, in a stock car race, virtual or real.
Yeah, you look at it, these guys are, 3-4 tenths apart. They're fighting each other for position. Meanwhile, Chase is just out there set sailing.
Yeah, the closest battle on the racetrack is actually a battle right now for 22nd. Seth Eggert on the inside just got by Brandon Ultra, so he's going to clear him. That was the only battle that we were seeing out there on the racetrack within about 2 tenths of each other right now. But as we come around, Chase Cabry is going to face the white flag this time by, unless something happens in the next second or 2 here. But we're gonna hand it down to Barney the flagman. He's gonna do the honors. That's not Barney, as he's gonna get that white flag in hand. He'll display it here to Chase Cabry. 1 lap to go, and he has a commanding lead. The only way he can lose this, guys, is if that engine decides to call it a night, which I don't see that happening.
It's been utter domination from that 39 car. Obviously a very successful driver in the real world. It's obviously translated to the virtual world. He has come in on his debut and made an absolute statement of intent. Maybe for the rest of the season in the ARCA series, but definitely in the Grand National and Truck Series as he comes out of turn 4 now.
Off at turn number 4 for the final time. Checkered flag displayed. It's going to be Chase Cabry, winner on his debut here tonight. Now watching that finish for position number 2, Corey Abbott gonna come across. He's gonna be the bridesmaid here tonight. 2nd place for Abbott, 3rd for Connor. Fourth is Higgins, and fifth is going to be Justin Wadsworth, with Harrison Talon in sixth, Michael Hosick seventh, Andrew McCall in eighth, with Caleb Sheets in ninth, and Jeff Green going to come home in 10th. We're going to step away real quick, and when we come back, we'll try to talk to our top three finishers. Don't go anywhere.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Worldwide Technology Raceway on June 1st and 2nd, 2024. The time to get your tickets is now. For only $10 down, you can lock in your seats for an incredible weekend of family fun, featuring the Enjoy Illinois 300 and the Confluence Music Festival. Racing, music, camping, it all adds up to one amazing party. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we are back here at Michigan, just wrapping up the Michigan 180. It's Chase Cabry taking the victory here tonight, but now we're going to talk to our third place finisher, Jay Connor. Jay came home in position number 3 here this evening. What more did you need to get up there and have a battle for the lead with Chase Cabry?
I think I needed a couple gallon of tire softener, hot lap or something there. He was a rocket. That first run there, when I got clear, I tried pushing really hard and like staying with him, and I kept the gap steady for a little bit there, and then once he started pulling away, then I decided to save, and that was the wrong plan on that first run. But he put a hell of a race together and just ran away with it. I told him at the end there he definitely embarrassed all of us.
He definitely showed some of that real world experience here this evening, able to run away with it. But another solid finish for you. You came in tied for the points lead with Corey Abbott. Abbott able to just get you there at the end of the race. But looking ahead to the rest of the season, we're going to be off next week, but in 2 weeks' time, we're going to head to Daytona for a bit of a wild card race. What's your outlook for that one? And do you think maybe you can grab another victory there?
Maybe. My luck has not been good on the plate tracks and anything elite. So these cars are pretty tough on the plate tracks because any kind of bump draft and the pushing's real tough with the wedge shape to the nose. They get real light and stuff. So we got a decent group of people here with our teammates. So we've tried everything. We've tried hanging in the back. We've tried being aggressive and staying up front. And I think most of us have been very unlucky with no matter what we choose, except for Brandon there. He snuck a win in on one of the plate tracks there at one point, but we'll see. I mean, with the win in the bank, I don't have to be super aggressive. I would like to just keep a good points run going and stay in the top 5 here.
That's definitely a great goal. And of course, you do want to have another shot at maybe another victory or two here in the regular season with still a handful of rounds to go there. But Jay, before we let you go here tonight, after another solid podium finish, any shout outs you want to give or sponsors you want to thank for making this happen for you?
No sponsors, just thanks to all the family and friends that jump on here and watch. I got my dad watching last week or 2 weeks ago a couple times, and so I think he might be on here, and neighbors, family, friends, and stuff that always jump on here to watch us. And thanks to you guys for putting on a good broadcast, and that's pretty much it.
Well, congratulations on another great finish, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time at Daytona.
Thanks. Take care.
You as well. That is Jay Connor, our third place finisher. Now we're going to talk to Corey Abbott, coming home in second here tonight. Corey, what more did you need there to get Chase Cabery? Jay Connor said he needed a hell of a lot more. What do you say?
Yeah, I'm with Connor. I don't know, rocket ship, nitro boost, something.
It sounded pretty darn close to what Jay just told us, but your race here tonight was a pretty solid one. We saw you up there in that second spot quite a bit tonight. You started there, able to run there. Also fell back near the tail of the top 10 at a couple points as well. What was a big challenge that you faced in tonight's event?
The biggest challenge was just figuring out the balance of the cars, how the tires wore through the run. Realizing that I didn't really have to go as easy on the tires as I thought I did. After that last caution we had, I just pushed and just went for it and realized the tires really don't fall off. And that was it.
And I'm going to hand you over here to our friend William White for a couple questions here as well. Will, what do you got for Corey?
Yeah, firstly, Corey, congratulations on the solid result there. Obviously, you started P2, you finished P2. As Robert said, you did have that kind of slump, I suppose, kind of in the middle of the race. You fell back to around 8th, I think, at the lowest. But obviously, it only matters really where you finish, and finishing ahead of Jay Connor, I suppose, is also very important for the point scenario. I just wonder, now that that puts you in the points lead, what's your outlook now for the remainder of the season, obviously, for the rest of the regular season, and hopefully heading into the postseason chase?
Outlook now is just keep digging, just be consistent. Win if I can, but just get back to what helped me a lot a year ago in trucks. Just be consistent. If you can get top 5, top 10, just run, be good with it. Just get what you can get out of it.
Yeah. Sounds good. So are there any sponsors you want to thank, any shout outs you want to give on the broadcast here tonight?
As always, I gotta thank the Abbott Motorsports guys. Alayton was trying to throw a heck of a strategy there, hoping for a late caution, slap on some fresh tires, didn't work out. Andrew came out, Brent not on the team, but always sings out with us. I think he had a pretty decent finish tonight. And then gotta thank you guys for doing the broadcast. I think John Cutlip does admin or race control. So huge shout out to him.
Awesome. Well, congrats on the P2, Corey.
Thanks, guys.
Well, that was Corey Abbott, your runner-up here tonight. Now standing by with our race winner, Chase Cabery, is William White.
Hey, Chase. Firstly, congratulations on the dominant win tonight. How are you feeling about that one?
Oh, it was fun. Mark Rubilis texted me last night, and M&R is coming to an end, so wanted to get on board and get on a new league. So it was fun to be able to come in here. So thanks to him, and thanks Robert for getting everything set up for me and allowing me to come have some fun. It was a good race. Michigan Gen 4 is always a good combo. It's Gen 4. I spent a ton of time in those cars, so it's tire wear you can push, but you still have to take care of your right front and your right rear, but it's not like the truck to where you have to like super save or anything like that. So I really enjoy the Gen 4 because it's a fine line between going too fast and saving your tires. And then with the green flag stops, I just I wanted to come down as late as possible. And then once I seen 1.7 laps of fuel left as I entered turn 3, I was like, well, I can kind of short it one lap. Wanted to go long just in case we did have a late race caution, just to try to have the freshest set. But it seems like everyone was kind of on the same plan, so no one really, I would say, jumped anybody on pit road, and it was a good race.
Yeah, obviously you ended up pulling away by over 10 seconds there at the line. You mentioned the balance between, your right front and your right rear tire. Was there anything you were doing differently that you noticed to the rest of the guys that really helped you optimize that balance and just keep that grip for so much longer than anyone else?
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of hard for me to tell, but there was down there in turn 3 and 4. If you run all the way down next to the yellow down there, it seems to, you kind of hurt your right front more on entry, but it's more stable center off, so you can, kind of manage your right rear a little bit. So I'd kind of run, say, 2 or 3 laps down there, and then I'd move up for a lap because the top would use your right rear. more than, or I should say the second lane kind of utilized driving off the right rear more than the right front. So I just wanted to kind of, keep the balance and keep the tire wear good throughout the first run. And then once I figured out after stopping that the right rear was, kind of getting used more than the right front and temperature wise, I just moved down to the bottom down there in 3 and 4 to, try to protect my right rear as much as possible. And it seemed to equal out my tire balance a little bit better. So it's, not sure if anybody else was down there, but I found to have a lot of speed down there next to yellow.
Yeah, well, obviously, as I understand it, you're also looking to compete in the Grand National and Truck Series, which I have no doubts you'll have no problem getting approval for. Obviously, this is a big statement of intent, such a dominant victory. Is your outlook on the rest of 24A to compete in the rest of the ARCA series and go for a championship there, or is your focus now solely on those two series, Grand National and Trucks?
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of what my schedule allows. The Monday night deal with the Xfinity car, I believe it is. It's kind of works well. Mondays are kind of normally pretty down around here, and more is back, from traveling on the weekends. So, Monday and Tuesday, the Cup deal on Sunday would be just way too hard for scheduling with racing on Saturdays with Haley. So. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I would like to, if I could run as many ARCA races as possible, that'd be great. And yeah, like I said, I'd like to go for the truck and Xfinity for sure.
Awesome. Well, are there any sponsors that you want to shout out, or any shout outs you want to give on the broadcast day tonight?
Yeah, just all you guys for letting me come in here and be a part of it. Kind of bringing new guys in a couple races into the season isn't always the easiest. So thanks to everybody and getting the league invite out there. So I didn't have any problems getting in. It was a quick turnaround. So thanks to all you guys and doing the broadcast. It's always fun to go back and watch it. So I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on the win again, man.
Thanks.
That was Chase Cabry. His debut tonight ended in victory lane. Looking forward to see what he can do in future events here. But guys, that'll just about do it for us here, but some final thoughts from you guys. We'll start with Jess Story, who joined us after deciding that his car didn't want to work no more.
Yeah, my thoughts, it was obviously a very exciting race. Chase definitely put on a dominant showing, and he has clearly showed that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the league, in all the series in the league coming forward. So,
absolutely, Will. What do you got, bud?
Definitely echoing Jess's words there. Chase Cabry is going to definitely be one to watch in the high echelons of Elite. Also, I'm very much looking forward to this championship fight that I think is going to happen between Corey Abbott and Jay Connor. Those two were going hammer and tongs at it for those second and third positions. Obviously, Corey Abbott just taking the points lead tonight, but we'll have to see how that develops over the rest of the season with a five race chase at the end of the regular season. That's going to put them all back to square one. I reckon this is only the start of what's going to be a fiery title fight.
This absolutely is just the start of what should be a fantastic fight for that title here in the Pit Pass Network ARCA series, but that'll just about do it for us here tonight. Congratulations to our podium finishers, Chase Cabry, Corey Abbott, and Jay Connor, and we look forward to seeing you back here in the ARCA series 2 weeks' time, January 30th. At Daytona. On behalf of myself, Robert Hill Jr., I was joined by Jess Story and William White here tonight. Shout out to Dave Huckleberry as well for his work behind the scenes that he does for us. Chad Frankenfield for running the league. And of course, our friends at pitpassnetwork.com. Mark J. Robilas of Robilas Photography at robilasphoto.com. The folks at Blue Egg Marketing, the marketing department for small businesses. And of course, our friends at Worldwide Technology Raceway. Have a good night, everybody, and we look forward to seeing you back here at the High Banks of Daytona.